Welcome to the Life Success and Legacy Podcast. We're glad you're here, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Hey, I want to welcome everyone back to the next episode of the Life Success Legacy Podcast. I have a very, very special treat, at least for me. I think it'll be a special treat for all the listeners as well, but for me, this is selfish. I get to hang out with Alejandra Perez. Ali, thank you for joining me so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
I almost want to put a guarantee out there to our listeners that they are going to absolutely love this conversation. So, so let's start in here. Alejandra and her husband, Alex, and their lovely family have been clients with us since what, 2016, 2018? Yeah, yes. 2018. Okay. And let's just jump in. I think it'll be fun for our listeners to kind of hear like how you started out, what you thought about IBC, some of those types of things. But then I'd love to take us even up into the future and how you are using IBC today. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You and I share education background. And then your husband is a business owner, and then your family. Tell us about who you guys are.
Well, we are Alejandro and Alejandra, first of all. And that is always how we present ourselves because it is easier.
Yes.
People remember that. We have 3 kids. One is 23, the other one is 21, and the other one is 12. And happily married for more than 24 years and counting.
We just celebrated 30 years this fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. They haven't all been easy.
Oh, no, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
We try every day, and here we are in the beautiful Laredo. We are from, we live in Laredo, Texas, which is 4 miles away from Mexico. I'm from Mexico, from Monterrey, Nuevo León. I don't know. Help me out, Chris.
And you have spent a career in education, but you're not currently teaching. Tell us a little bit about what you did in education, and then you transitioned out, which I was actually reviewing your dream conversation from back in 2018. And let me just tell you, there are a lot of check marks next to those dreams for you guys.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's really rewarding for me to go back and look at where you were and what you wanted and what you all have accomplished.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, it made me emotional because I thought I was never going to be able to do that. Especially the part where I will leave the school after 20 years. For me, that wasn't an option. I thought I was going to retire from school. And I had the opportunity to leave school last May, and which was a very hard and emotional decision because I love the school. I love my kids. I love my coworkers. I love the environment. It's a beautiful place to work. It's a very rewarding. I enjoyed all those 20 years. I had my kids. I had my kids in my own classroom more than I wanted to. But I enjoy them. I didn't have the opportunity to have them as when they were little because I had to work.
Yeah.
See, when we started as a family, I had to work. It was very difficult for us. I had to help in that way. And I had my degree, and I say, why not? My dad always told me that was the only inheritance that he was going to leave me because we don't come from money. He said, I'm going to leave you with education because that will take you places. And he was right. He, like always, right? Your dad. Always right. I tell my kids the same thing, right? But yeah, he was right. And I was very blessed to have the opportunity to study, and I had my degree. And when I came to the US, I used it. I went to the school so I can have more time with my kids. And the school gave me that. I'm an industrial engineer. So I went to a high school where I was able to teach an engineering class. So precious days, moments, memories that I have from school, but it was time for me to leave. I needed to retire younger and enjoy life in a different way, in a different kind of.
So for our listeners, give a little bit. You were telling me before we started, before we pushed record, you were telling me a little bit of the difference of what it's like when you're going through your day as a teacher, and now what it's like for you, where you kind of are in control of your own schedule.
Well, which is a good and a bad thing. I was telling Chris that 20 years in the school, we are a very structured type of organization. He knows because he was a teacher. He is still a teacher. So I was in a very structured schedule where they would tell me this class at this time, then we have a meeting, and then you have this, and then you have the other, and like kids, we love structure, right? And then I'm on my own, and with a lot of things, with a lot of plans, with a lot of objectives to cover the business, my husband's business, which I also help. And it's like, I need my structure back. So that part has been a little bit difficult, but still I'm enjoying being the owner of my own time.
So for our listeners, they're always curious, how did you hear about infinite banking? What led you down this trail of breadcrumbs that has you now almost coming up on 10 years of doing IBC? How did you even know where to look, or how did you hear about it?
This is so funny because this is the part where I tell Shelly and Chris and Mike and everybody at the Life Success and Legacy, where I tell them I'm very special. You know, I'm very special. I'm the special client because I was the one that found you, and nobody told me about you. I found you. I didn't have I didn't have anybody to ask about IBC. I didn't have the neighbor, the friend, the business partner. Nobody knew about IBC, not even my financial person that I go to. It was so difficult because it was a completely new term, not even my parents, okay? Because over there in Mexico, we don't have this. I wish we had this so I can share with my family over there. So not even them. So I didn't have my dad, which has a CPA background, and he's a very financial guy, and I couldn't ask him. And my brother, my sister, no one. So here I was trying to find information on how people that were financially successful were doing things different as the average, because I consider myself the average person that goes to work, has to work and pay their bills every day, right? And so I said there has to be something different. There has to be something that I can do, that I can change this cycle of going to work, pay bills, and repeat. Going to work, repeat, going to work, repeat. Where going to work is like more strategic, I would say.
Yeah, you remind me a little bit, it just popped into my head. We were single income education family, and we were struggling. And I remember same type of thought process, same question. There's got to be another way. And I remember going to one of the dads who volunteered in our school. He was a business owner, and I asked him, I said, Dave, how do you manage your money, either personally or business? I'm trying to learn. And he was the one who told me about IBC.
Wow.
Yeah. And so in a similar way, we were trying to make more of what we had.
Exactly. So for me, I was a little bit confused, I won't lie, because if I look at the people that I have in Mexico, and like my brother, he's a doctor. So over there, the cost of living is way cheaper than here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I will look at him, and he will start like paying off his house, for example, where I will look at my situation. I will say I will never pay my house
Yeah.
with a teacher salary, to be honest, like
Mm-hmm.
honestly, or with my husband income and mine, like we are barely making paying our expenses. So I said, why do I feel that this is not fair, right? So with what I have, which was my income and my husband's income, what can I do differently so I can move forward faster?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's something is not working with me, it's working against me.
Yeah.
And I will look at the situation in Mexico, and I'm sorry, I had to say Mexico, because if I say Mexico, my
Yeah.
friends
You got
that
to
know me, they're
represent,
gonna
girl.
be very upset with me. It's
You
Mexico.
got to represent.
I'm sorry, yes, I have to represent Mexico. Soy mexicana. So the situation over there, since the cost of living was cheaper, it was easier for them to pay things cash, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or to have their house paid for, their cars and all those things. For me, it was like, I can do that. I cannot just save money the Dave Ramsey style
Yeah.
system, which I respect. I love that book that he has, but
Mm-hmm.
there was no way for us to move forward by saving the money and paying cash for everything, especially here in the US. So that part was conflicting for me. So I said there has to be a way, and it has to be with the fees that we pay for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And everything makes sense when I found IBC. That's how.
So you started doing research through YouTube's podcasts.
Yeah.
That's how you started learning about the
Yes.
concept.
Yes, especially with the Rockefellers, like that opened.
The Rockefeller book. So what would the
Yeah.
Rockefellers do?
Oh yes, I love that book, and
Yeah.
I read it. I was like, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Because you were looking for a process. You were looking for
Yes,
a system, a concept,
a
something that you could.
methodology, something that I can do. The regular people like me, that I was a teacher with a salary, and then my husband that was starting his business, and we were barely making, because you know that we have all those expenses with businesses.
Yeah.
We have to finance.
Yeah.
So the business was doing great, but we had to pay everybody else and then us.
So do you make loans to your husband?
Of course. Should we go to that part right now? No, that was the thing that I would say. It clicked the part where you say that IBC is not taught, it is caught.
Caught.
With the first loan that I made to the business.
Yeah.
Yes. That's when I said, I like this. I can do it again.
Yes.
And again and again and again. So for me, that was the click part where I started understanding the concept better. And then I went into like, okay, let's go into learning how can I use this for more things. And this is where the infinite part.
In the beginning, did you have skepticisms, hesitations? For me, because I came from a Dave Ramsey background, the whole idea of using whole life insurance was a flag for me.
Oh.
Well, did you have skepticisms or questions, cautions?
It was a flag for you, and for me, it was a home moment, because I said, Dave Ramsey says or talks about term insurance, which I have since I was very early or very young into the marriage, because I think everybody should have that or some kind of protection, right? So I knew that part. But then I heard the part where it's evil, the life insurance, the whole life insurance is evil. And I'm like, for me, it was not a red flag. It was more like, If it is so able, why is it in the market?
Mm-hmm.
Why is people buying it? Why are banks using it?
Yeah.
Why are the CEOs or companies, big companies, insuring their own employees with life insurance? Why,
Mhm.
why is so bad, right? So I said it was more of an understanding how to use it, or adding the infinite banking concept to it,
Mhm.
that makes it beautiful. I would say, like, I love it.
And we always say you could create your own banking system using
Yes,
another product, vehicle, your savings account, It's
yes,
just that Nelson Nash figured out that with a specially designed whole life insurance policy, it's the most effective. Is it perfect? No. Is it sometimes hard to get loans as quickly as you want? Yes. These life insurance companies are not set up as online banking, right?
exactly.
So there are some nuances that are you have to kind of work around, but it is the most efficient tool for creating your banking system and creating a legacy as well.
Exactly. And this is the part where I whoever that will come to me and say, like, no, forget it. Whole life insurance is horrible. It's very expensive. And they're right. It's like, if you see the insurance, like whole life insurance, like it is very expensive for what the purpose, for the purpose you want to use it. Like in this case, the death benefit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have term life insurance. If that is the purpose, just by term,
To
right?
cover loss of income while you're raising a family,
Exactly,
term is the least expensive way to go.
exactly. It
Absolutely.
depends of the uses
Yeah.
of the product. So I think the key part is the design that you're mentioning that Nelson Nash created in the book, that makes it wonderful for the banking purposes. And you understanding also that we finance everything personally, and I have the two situations, personal, in the personal life and in the business life.
Right.
We finance everything. So now I'm able to show my friends, because I keep the books for the business. We have a very small business, but I'm able to show them, like, you see this column here that says interest paid or interest expense,
Mm-hmm.
paid to me. And it's, even for me, is every time I see it and I run the report, and I can't believe that I was paying all this much money to someone else, that at the time it was a good thing, because I couldn't be working on the business, or the business couldn't do whatever it needs to do if we didn't have the finance. So we need to pay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We need to pay, but now paying those fees back to the family
Mm-hmm.
is priceless.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
it is. So take our listeners back to when you first started IBC and you were just in that first year or two and you were just starting to learn the mechanics of how the system worked and all that. Do you remember how you first used your policies? What were examples that you used your system for?
yes, perfectly, because my husband was about to kill me. I will never forget. I tend to joke a lot, as you can tell. So I love my husband, and I hope he loves me back the same. He's always been very supportive. He's always like, I tell him, let's jump here, and he would jump. And for me, that also means a lot of responsibility. So
Mm-hmm.
he's the brains in the system, in the business. I'm sorry, he's the engineer. He connects businesses through antennas, and he's so
He's technical.
super technical. He's the operational type of guy,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm the one that pays the credit cards. So
You're the strategist. You strategize.
I like the name, but yeah, I was the one that pays the bill.
Yeah.
The bill. So that wasn't the funniest part of the business, but I had to do it. So when I discovered the IVC and I bought the first policies, I told him, this is the product, this is the system. I explained everything. If it doesn't work, we still have the death benefit, which at the end we want at least to leave something to our kids if something happened to us, so they can pay whatever we have in debts or whatever. And if it doesn't work, and he's like, okay, so are we gonna pay how much? And I'm like, this much, but we're gonna use it back. We're gonna use it back right away so I can pay all the expenses that we have. Okay, but how much are we gonna pay? So he was concerned with the same things that I was, the pain, the second year, the third year, the fourth year. How am I going to come up with the money to pay the policy the second, for example? For me, that was my, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I believe in the concept. It was a concept. It was still a concept to me.
Yeah.
So first year we pay the policy, I use the money right away, pay debts that I had in the business. The business, instead of paying, the bank is paying me back.
Yeah.
So
you turn the wind current on the business's debt.
Yes.
By and this is it, because we have a lot of clients who are business owners. In fact, I owe an email to one of our clients after I finish this podcast recording, because he runs real estate. But he's never made a loan to his business.
Ooh,
right.
Right.
And I was like, okay, let me put some information together for you. So he can take a loan from his policy, then he can loan it to his business, and then his business can use it for an investment, pay off debt, whatever. But then you set up an amortization table, right? A payment schedule. You create loan documents for the CPA. You have all those things in place. You treat it like a real loan, but then the business makes payments back to you personally. You are the bank.
Yes.
Question, Allie. Do you charge the business low interest or high interest?
As high as I'm allowed.
As high as you're allowed.
Yes, because obviously if the bank is charging me 10%, I cannot charge 20%. I wish that I can. So I charge 10%, 11, 12%. It all depends on how the fees or the interest is outside the business, like they're offering me. That's how much I charge the business.
So you make it legitimate interest rate that you would get if you were at a bank or something else, to make it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if I could charge 30%, like some of those credit cards that we all know, they charge. Money goes to my family, from the business to my family. So there was someone that told me, but Ale, what you're doing doesn't make sense, because you are getting money and from this pocket and putting the money into this pocket, and the two pockets are yours. So why are you doing this? Because before I was taking money from this pocket and give it to someone else. At least I am taking money from this pocket and putting it in my pocket. So it's still my pockets.
You're controlling the whole process.
So that part for me was very clear. Maybe it's not that clear for everybody else, but the interest that was leaving my business,
it's no longer leaving your business.
It's no longer leaving my business. It's staying in my family banking system.
Yeah.
So I started with that, and the second year was kind of difficult. I won't say that it was like, oh yeah, I get it, like let me pay again and let's do this again. No, it was difficult because I wasn't used to have a deposit system, you see. That idea, because it was new, it was a difficult one, but still I made it. And the moment I made the deposit to pay my policies, I took the money again and paid more debt and turned more depth into the inside banking. So the third year was easier, the fourth year was even easier.
Yeah.
So
So you started with a couple of policies, but over time now, you started back in 2018, we're now in 2025. You have expanded your banking system. And a common question that we get is, why do you need more than one policy? And you clearly have expanded your system, and rumor has it you want to add 3 more policies this year. So can you explain, why did you feel the need to add more policies to your system?
because you want more of what had worked for you, right? It's very simple. It's if you have a product that is selling very well in your business, you want to expand that product to more places, right? In my case, I had this system that was working, or this policy that worked perfect. I wanted to replicate that. And there is the design that didn't allow me to make one policy way bigger once it is open. So I open another. It's like a franchising, like you always say, like,
Yeah.
it's like, let me open another one that will do the same as this one, and then another one that will do the same like this one, and then another one, and then another. Because it is incredible to realize the amount of things that we finance. It's like, I thought I was going to use it for one thing in my business, and now I finance almost everything in my business is financed through the policies.
If you were to go back with your original policies that you started, is there any way that you could finance everything that you've been doing with just those original policies? No. So you needed more capacity.
Yes.
Yeah. And you all are using it for business loans. Have you used it for new purchases personally? Have you used it for investments? Give our listeners a little idea of how are you now, and how many policies do you own now?
We have 9.
9. Okay.
9. We have 6 on 3 on my husband, 3 on myself, and 1 for each kid. And I'm planning on opening 3 more on the kids.
Okay. And so you've explained how you've used it with loans for the business and set up those payments. What are other ways that you have used your system?
Well, for example, the easiest one is the car. The car that we use for the business is it was financed through, can I say the names? Toyota, for example, whatever. Yeah. So we had the loan with Toyota, and we had the payments, and I had the money in the insurance that could cover the debt of the car. So instead of just paying off the car and that's it, I gave the money to the business as a loan. The business paid the car, and instead of paying Toyota, it's making the payment, the same payments to me.
Yeah. And
with the same interest and everything. So instead of that interest going to Toyota, now it is going to my family bank. That was the first loan that I made to the business. And since then, we have financed 4 cars for the business, and one utility truck. That's how they call them, the ones that have the electric. I don't know how it's called. My husband
had the arm that goes up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those expensive toys, I call.
Yes.
Well, I like them because I finance. It's okay with me. So I financed those because they were going to be financed with another bank anyway. So that the money is staying with us. So as the business is paying back, I'm replenish my funds here in the insurance, and I'm ready to finance the next thing. And the next thing, we finance also equipment. We are internet service providers, and my husband needs to buy antennas because we connect businesses through antennas, wireless. So sometimes we need to buy antennas because antennas is the type of product that you won't find it like when you need them. It's like they make them and you need to buy them in bulk, and then you start like selling them to the clients. So inventory. So inventory, we buy inventory, credit cards, operational costs, etc. So
have you used your policies, your personal policies, as a line of credit for investments?
yes.
Okay.
We are doing.
I know we don't talk about that a lot. We try to really focus on IBC, but more and more of our clients have paid off all their debt, and they may not have a business, and now they start to thinking about, well, how could I do this? So you all have used your cash value as a line of credit for doing investments as well, correct?
Yes, actually, that was one of our talks that we had like 4 years ago, and I said, okay, Chris, I know how to like loan money to my business, and then business can pay me back, but it's like I'm gonna always be dependent on the business, right? So I need to see how can I invest this money that I have in the insurance, right? And that's when the income snowball methodology, I will say again.
Another concept, right?
Another concept that I love to learn made sense, and the perfect tool for that is the IBC, the infinite banking concept. With this income snowball type of investing made sense, and it had worked perfectly for me. And that's what
it's really not too different than the loans you were making to your business, and the business was making payments back to you. You're making loans to some type of an investment, right? And then that investment is paying you back.
Yeah, it's the same. We call it loan to the business, but for me personally, that I'm lending this money to the business, it's an investment.
Yeah.
So it's my investment.
Yeah.
It happens to be the same business. That's why I needed to diversify my investments. Okay, not only into my business, I'm investing money into my business. My business is paying me back, but I needed to diversify and find other type of investments the same way, and always using the insurance policy as my line of credit.
Yeah. One of the investments that I know is a priority for you is your family, and especially your kids.
Yes.
So you have kids that are in their early teens and 20s, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Have they shown an interest in learning about IBC, or, knowing you and knowing myself as educators, we don't even need them to show an interest. We're going to teach them anyway. You will learn this.
Well, to be honest, at the beginning, it was a very difficult concept for them. 2018, my kids were in their teens, all of them, and they were not even thinking of money yet.
Yeah.
So they were barely starting with a checking account and things like that. So I was understanding the concept. So now years has passed, and 2025 has been 6 years, 7 years. And now they can see the examples, which I didn't have.
Right.
And I still believe in the concept, right? But now that they can see the examples, and I can show them numbers, like I show my friends, and I see, okay, read the book. You read the book. Good, but you can see how I use it here, like check these numbers. I do this, I do that, I do the other. So when I talked to my husband about IBC, the main objective was for them to learn, to leave them with this education about money, not to leave them with that benefit or money to spend.
Right.
Money is money. I know they're gonna earn their own money. They're studying for that, and they're working already, and they're being successful in what they do. But I said, you can earn a lot of money and be broke. And I want for you to learn how to use your money and not lose it. with all these fees that we pay every day if you have your own bank. So I have my own policies, my husband's policies, and they have their own policies that I'm planning on leaving them. Not as when I die. These are for them to have as their banking. That is my inheritance besides the education. You see, my dad told me, you need to study, you need to get a degree because I will help you. I'm doing the same with my kids. And I'm adding the part where they need to learn about this IBC concept and money education so they can keep their money, because you can be very successful in what you do and still be broke. And I don't want for them to repeat the cycle that I was doing and a lot of people is doing. And I'm like, we need to think different and do things differently.
I have one last question for you, at least on this podcast. We may have to have you come back. You and I could fill up a lot of time.
Oh my God, we can talk forever. I'm sorry.
I'm curious now that you know all that you know, if you could go back in time to when you first were starting your IBC system, is there anything that you would have done differently then, knowing what you know now?
I would have bought my insurance policies way before and bigger. And for me, I thought I bought like a huge policy. I actually got my regrets when I sent the first payment because I said, this is a lot of money. I was super concerned, super worried. And if I knew what I know today, I wish I had put more money into the policies before, like at that time, because I know where I am right now, and that's why I'm I'm opening new policies. I would like to open more policies because I already saw what they do for me, and I just can't imagine if I multiply the same system as many times as I possibly can. So, and obviously, I would love for the younger generations to learn this, because I always tell my husband the same thing. It's like, if we knew back then what we know right now, life will be very different. Like,
could have been different.
Like, I'm not complaining. We had an awesome life. We are very blessed, and but I wish someone had told us about this before.
And now that is you.
Yeah, exactly. And
it is your opportunity. It is our opportunity to share with others. And we always tell people, everybody on our team left careers. We don't come from a life insurance or finance background. We, like you, just had this blessing in our life that we learned, someone shared with us, or we learned it. And now it's our opportunity to share with others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is my only regret. I should have done it like bigger, the policies and sooner. But it's okay.
It is.
I never thought that I was going to leave the school, and I never thought, not in my life, that I will leave the school, because I will never feel that security or that how can I say it, that plan wasn't that clear to me. It was just retire from the school and that's it, right? And you leave at 65 with whatever you get from retirement, and that's it. That is what life is about, and that's it. So, and it's so different now that I'm in this side, and it's because of a concept.
Yeah. Alejandra, I am going to get to see you in Houston, March 22nd. We have a live boot camp down there, and then there will also be a DIBS gathering.
Yes.
For our listeners know, Dibs on Your Money is a book by one of our team members, Mike Kwong, and many of the Dibs group come to our boot camps, and then that evening we have a gathering with the Dibs group. And the Dibs concept is what you had talked about, is more about creating that passive income for the future. So to our listeners, I don't know when this will be released, when Mike Crawford will release this podcast, but if it is before March 22nd, this is another encouragement of, if you're able to make it to Houston, there's no cost other than just getting yourself there. We'll feed you. Just come and join the community. It's a wonderful group of people like Alejandra and her husband, and hopefully your daughter will be able to join you as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to say to you, thank you for taking the time to join us and allowing me to ask questions and you sharing your story. This, I know, is going to be really powerful for our listeners. So thank you.
Well, I want to say thank you for changing my life, because all those, because it wasn't only the buying the insurance, it was the relationship that we have, that I know that I can call you and set up an appointment and say I'm lost. When I told you several years ago that, okay, what else can I do with this? Because I need to make money. I need to use
it. How do I expand
How
it?
can I use it? How do I expand it? And you mentioned a word that it still like makes me chill. You said pay and Mike Kwong. You said those three words and I'm like, okay. And I love them, and they have changed my life also, and good friends of mine, and there is a way always to do things differently, and there is hope, and you just need to look for it.
The breadcrumbs have been laid out.
Yes.
All we have to do is pick them up from people like yourself, Mike and Pay, from the LSL team, other clients, because we really are just a community. All of us were clients as well. We're just a community supporting each other. And I will tell you, for example, Alejandra does way more with her IBC system than I do, right? It is so rewarding to see, as a teacher, especially when your students, when they like leave you and they like know more than you. Our coaching sessions used to be, you don't even do coaching with me anymore, you do it with Mike Kwong. But it used to be at a point where you would say, okay, Chris, here's what I'm thinking, and I just sat there and did this. Yep, you got it, that's right. Go get them.
It's because you have an awesome team, and Mike has been very supportive. Pay, I cannot say
she's amazing.
Enough wonderful things about her. She has always been very supportive, and they have something that you all have, something that I love, which is the abundance mindset. And I appreciate that, and I always say thank you for that, because that changed my life and my family's life also. So I will see you in Houston. Of course,
yes, looking forward to it. Alejandra, thank you so much for the time. To our listeners, we want to thank you again for joining us. Check us out at lifesuccesslegacy.com. If you would like to attend a live boot camp, obviously we have our virtual Zoom boot camps that we do. Those are all posted under the learning events on our website. Again, that's lifesuccesslegacy.com. We actually have 3 live boot camps scheduled in 2025. We have one in Houston. That's March 22nd. We have one actually in Oahu on the islands, in the islands of Hawaii. And that is May 31st. It's a Saturday. And then we just scheduled one in Lawrence, where I live, Lawrence, Kansas, where we originally did our first live boot camps. And we just hoped and prayed that someone would walk through the door. So we're going to do another one in Lawrence in September. So hopefully, if you're close to one of those, or you'd like to join us for one of those, we would love to have you. And of course, our Zoom boot camps are always available, as well as our webinars. Lots of these podcasts available. And then, of course, there are books and other resources. So whatever your learning style is, hopefully we have provided an opportunity for you to learn the best way that you learn. Thank you again for joining us, and catch us again on our next episode of the Life Success Legacy Podcast.